Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video is a Steve Good pattern. Pretty basic, pretty simple, but cute as a button. And I'm going to do this one start to finish without boring you with the actual taping, gluing, sanding, and painting at the end. Most of my projects up until now have been cutting to the finished product of a cut, and I've never really shown a lot of the finish work so that you can see what this looks like in its end state to either be sold or put on a wall or displayed. Here I'm just cutting off the excess. This is something I go through every time. I get it all glued on and I cut it just before I start doing the actual scroll work. Now I have the blade that's in there as a number 5 blade, too big for the holes. So I'm going to look at the 3 first and then the 1 to see which one works best for the size holes that I drilled. It's one of those things, I prefer to use a 3, but if I have to go smaller, I will. In this case, the number 3 worked out just fine, and so that's what I went with. One of the main things I discovered when cutting plywood, 1/4-inch plywood, if I slow down the speed of the saw really slow, I don't make as many errors because I'm not running too quick and it runs offline. I don't stop quick enough. You know, I'm getting older, so my reflexes aren't as good. So having slowed it down took this project a little bit longer. It was an hour and a half start to finish on the cutting, which is fine. I made a couple of mistakes, but they were minimal. So I'm realizing that slowing the speed down, it's pretty slow actually. It did work out extremely well, and I was able to maintain the control. I know there's a lot of guys out there that can do it so much quicker than I'm doing it. I just don't have the control. Maybe that'll come with time, I don't know. But being a hobby, I'm honestly not in any hurry. This video is running at 10 times the actual speed. In some sections, I slow it down so you can see things better. I like this better for my videos to keep them at a decent length and not too long and boring, I guess, so you can get to the end result a little bit quicker. I saved the actual live cutting for my live streams actual time because I think if people really want to look at it and see how it goes and how long it takes and some of the different things I'm up against when I'm actually scrolling, you'll see that in the live stream. The other thing with the slower speed is I'm able to get a complete cut for the most part. There's little sections that I cut out to get the details perfect. Again, lack of confidence is all that is, but it worked, so I'm not complaining. And that's what I say to anybody that's new to scrolling. Do what works, regardless of what everybody else does or doesn't do. It really is a matter of you doing something that works for you so that you can get the end result that you want. I almost dreaded this one a little bit because of some of the finer cuts that are involved, especially the leaf all the way around the edge. And you'll see in a little bit some of the things I did to maintain the integrity of the cuts so that I didn't have anything break off. It's a fear of mine when it comes to this kind of stuff. And as I'm getting more confident and utilizing some of the information and tips and tricks that's being extended to me, I'm starting to see the benefit of doing these. Now there's only 17 cutouts of this, and for it to take me an hour and a half to do this in the backing board, that was kind of long. But again, slower speed, more accurate cuts, it was worth it to me. I initially did not have an idea of what I was going to do for this week's video. In fact, Thursday was when I finally started looking for something to do, with the option in mind that I wanted to be able to do it start and finish and not have this video be 20, 30, 40 minutes long, even with high speed. So I came across this. I really liked the end product, actually. It was really cute. It's one of those cute little things, you know, the little lovebirds, etc. that I thought would be nice to cut for my viewing audience. Now that I'm getting to the bird part, I was getting a teeny bit nervous because, as you can see, there's only a little bit of material holding the birds onto the perch. With plywood, that's not a lot, especially when plywood is so brittle and it's weak. It's a weak wood. It's not anything that has any strength to it. And as I started cutting through some of these, I did the tiniest parts first to get those out of the way. And the part between the legs was, the first one was a little awkward. The second one went a lot smoother. Again, I don't do this all the time, so it's one of those things I have to kind of, relearn how to do something all over again. But I'm okay with that. That's what hobbies are. They're just a hobby. So as you can see, the second set of legs I did, it was just quick. Got all the way around it without stopping, and it came right out. Now, as I'm starting to do the outside of this, the birds, I was debating whether I should do the perimeter around the leaf first or the birds first. I opted for the birds because I felt that I could hold on to that part while I was cutting the leaf to keep them in place and steady. And as I got around this first bird, I could feel the bird vibrating, and I had to hold that down pretty firmly to keep it from possibly breaking from the movement. Now, I am aware I could have put a piece of tape over it, etc., but I'm going to be doing that in a little bit, and I'll explain to you why when that part comes. So as I'm going around this leaf, I really have to keep a firm hand on those birds. They are wanting to move and lift, and my hands came off a little bit, but for the most part, wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So now I'm putting the packing tape over this section. I'm not taking it out. I need that to maintain the integrity of the birds while I cut the outside perimeter of the leaf. I don't want any movement on that. Maybe there wouldn't have been, I don't know, but I wasn't going to take a chance. And I'm glad I did, because it was just one less thing to worry about, and I can concentrate on my cutting. And I did put the tape on both sides, even though the bottom would be pressed against the table. Again, peace of mind, didn't want to have to worry about it. What I did notice, though, when cutting through the tape, a lot of the sawdust stuck to the tape, so it did hinder me seeing the lines a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. The other thing too, the slower speed, I almost wanted to get gummy, but nothing happened. It was fine. It was just me noticing the difference between having the tape on there and not having it on there. Now, a lot of the veteran scroll sawyers, that bothers me. Why can't they just say sawers? Anyhow, they'll put that tape on just to lubricate the blade. By design, that's what happens with the packing tape. Don't ask me all the technical issues or the chemical things that are involved with making a roll of tape, but that's the mindset of why they use packing tape on the backside usually. But anyway, it was really, really nice not having to worry about any movement of the internal parts while I was doing the outside. This was pretty straightforward. It went well. I will untape it and unpackage it for you in a minute. I was quite happy with this cut. I'm usually not happy with stuff. Well, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm not usually that happy with it. So I took off the tape, not on the part that I'm going to throw away, just on the part that I'm keeping. There's no point in doing that. And I then removed the tape, the packing tape on the backside. I left the blue tape on for now. It wasn't important. So this is what the first part looks like. It turned out really well. from what I can tell, there's going to be very little sanding involved. The outside part, this is a little bit bigger than the front to give it that shadow box look. This went extremely well. There was no issues with it. And what I found quite interesting as well is that I only needed one blade for this cut. And I'm thinking maybe slowing down, taking my time. I don't know. Maybe the blade didn't heat up, overheat. I'm not sure why I was only needed one blade. Usually I at least do two. Again, I don't know why, but when it works, it works. I do like these kind of backing boards because they're much easier to cut. They're not as sharp of turns. It's, designed to shadow the main piece. And once I get this done and out, you got that. That's what it looks. I went into the house to where my craft shop is. I spared you all the sanding, which wasn't a lot. It might have taken me 20 minutes to sand all these. And maybe another hour for painting, but that's not all painting. That was letting it dry in between coats. And I also had to put my signature coin on the back. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you again next week. Don't forget, I have a live tonight, finishing last week's project. I look forward to seeing you there. God bless. Take care.